So let us talk about surds. So I think you all have seen an expression of the type nth root of a, right? So let us discuss about this nth root of a. So for nth root of a to be defined, here the condition is that n should be a natural number. This is always, this is always true that n should be a natural number. For example, you can have say 7 power 2 by 3. This is fine, but you can't write 2 by 3 root of 7. This is wrong, right? This representation is right, but this representation is wrong. For example, you can write cube root of 7, and also you can write 7 power 1 by 3. But because 3 is a natural number, this is valid, but 2 by 3 is not a natural number, right? So this representation is not valid. So for nth root of a representation, the n should be always a natural number. First thing is this. Second is that now if n is a natural number, then either n is even or n is odd, right? If n is even, then one more condition is there, that is on a. This a should be greater than or equal to 0, that is a should be non-negative. A should be non-negative if n is even, right? And if n is odd, then it is fine, a can be anything, right? Then a should be real. A should be real. We are going to talk about real numbers only, we are not going to talk about complex numbers now. So if n is even, then a should be non-negative, and if n is odd, then a should be real, right? So first thing is that for nth root of a, this expression to be valid, n should be a natural number, right? So this type of expressions are not valid because 2 by 3 is not a natural number, right? And this is valid, and this is equal to this itself, right? 7 power 1 by 3, you can write it as cube root of 7, that is fine. And you can write 7 power 2 by 3, but you can't write 2 by 3th root of 7, that is not valid, fine. And for example, say if you ask me what is 4th root of 4, right? This is valid, you can find this. But if you ask me what is 4th root of minus 4, then this is not valid because minus 4 is not positive, right? Minus 4 is not non-negative, right? Minus 4 is a negative number. Since we have told that if n is even, then this a should be non-negative, right? So this type of expression is not valid, fine. So just like you have learned that in square roots, inside part should be always positive, right? For square root of a to be defined, for root a to be defined, a should always be greater than or equal to 0. Similarly for 4th root a, for 6th root a, for 8th root a, and so on, for all these to be defined, this a should always be greater than or equal to 0, right? Whereas cube root a, for cube root a to be defined, a can be negative also, right? Here a can be negative also, fine. So now let us try to understand what do we mean by 4th root of 4, right? So 4th root of 4 means simply that, let us say this is x, right? So we are asking for a real number for which x power 4 is equal to 4, right? So this denotes a real number x for which x power 4 is equals to 4, right? For example, if I ask you what is square root of 4, then you simply write it as 2 because 2 square is 4, right? So similarly nth root of a denotes a real number x for which x power n is equals to a, right? So this is the thing, that nth root of a simply denotes a real number x for which x power n is a. Now see, if you have 4th root of say minus 4 and say this is x, right? We have told that this is not defined. Let us see why it is not defined. Say this is x, then you say that x power 4 is minus 4, but you know that a real number is either positive or negative, and a positive number or a negative number, if you raise it to 4th power, you can't get a negative number, right? So this is not possible for x real, this is not possible when x is real. So that's why this is not defined, right? So this is not defined, fine. So we have understood when nth root of a is defined and what are the conditions on n and a, and we have understood what is nth root of a, right? Nth root of a denotes a real number x for which x power n is equals to a, right? So this is the thing. And say for example, if I ask you, say 5 power 1 by 3, right? 5 power 1 by 3, then if I ask you to find two consecutive integers in which this 5 power 1 by 3 is sandwiched. For example, the question is that find two consecutive integers x and y, x and x plus 1, right, such that x is less than cube root of 5 is less than x plus 1, right? So you need to find two integers in between which the cube root of 5 lies, right? So what I am doing is, see, I know that cube root of 1 is equals to 1, and I also know that cube root of 8 is equals to 2, right? Because 2 power 3 is 8, isn't it? So then see, 1 is less than 5 is less than 8, so cube root of 1 is also less than cube root of 5 is also less than cube root of 8, right? So cube root of 1 is 1, which is less than cube root of 5, which is less than cube root of 8, which is 2. So you have sandwiched the cube root of 5 between two consecutive integers 1 and 2, right? So similarly, let us do the same process, right? Find n, and n belongs to n such that n is less than, say, fifth root of, say, 29 is less than n plus 1, right? Or let us make it 39. Let us make it 39. Yeah. So you need to find a natural number n for which n is less than fifth root of 39 is less than n plus 1. So now you try to observe all the fifth powers, right? 1 power 5 it is 1, 2 power 5 it is 32, 3 power 5 it is how much? 243, right? And you can see this 39 is between 32 and 243, right? So 32 is less than 39 is less than 243. So I can write fifth root of 32 is less than fifth root of 39 is less than fifth root of 243, right? So I can say that 2 is less than fifth root of 39 is less than 3, right? So the value of fifth root of 39, it will be 1 point something, right? It will be 1 point something. Fine. So I think the basic idea of what is nth root of a is clear to you. Now let us try to understand what is a surd, right? Till now I have not discussed what is a surd, right? I have just discussed what is nth root of a and when it is valid, right, and the interpretation of nth root of a. But let us now try to understand what is actually a surd. So nth root of a is called a surd expression, a surd or a surd expression if a is not a perfect nth power, right? So if a is not a perfect nth power, then you can call nth root of a as surd. For example, if I talk about square root of a, see, whenever we are writing square root of a, you can write this as root a, right? Root a and square root a are both the same, so we don't need to write this 2, right? So this 2 is optional, but for other roots, that is cube root, fourth root, you must write this 3 or 4. So if I talk about square root of 4, this is not a surd because this is actually equal to 2, right? Because 4 is a perfect square. Similarly, this is this is not a surd, right? Square root of 4 is not a surd. So similarly, if I write cube root of 8, then this is also not a surd because we have 2 power 3 is 8, right? So cube root of 8 I can write it as 2, so this is not a surd anymore, right? So but if I write, say, root 5, then this is a surd, because 5 is not a perfect square. 5 is not a perfect square, right? Similarly, if I write cube root of 11, then this is also a surd, because 11 is not a perfect cube, right? 11 is not a perfect cube. Similarly, say if I write fourth root of 52, then this is also a surd, because 52 is not a perfect fourth power. 52 is not a perfect fourth power, right? But if I write say fourth root of 16, then this is not a surd, because 16 is a perfect fourth power, right? Because 16 is a perfect fourth power, so fourth root of 16 is nothing but 2, right? Similarly, if I write say fifth root of 243, this is also not a surd. This is also not a surd, because 243 is perfect fifth power, right? This is 3 power 5, so this is also not a surd. So nth root of a is surd if a is not a perfect nth power, right? So for example, this root a is called a quadratic surd, right? This root a is called a quadratic surd if, of course, if this is a surd first of all, so it is a surd if a is not a perfect square. A is not a perfect square, right? Quadratic surd, or you can also call it as a surd of order 2. You can also call it as a surd of order 2, right? Similarly, if you have cube root of a, then this is a surd of order 3, or you can call it as a cubic surd, right? Of course, first of all, this should be a surd, and that is true if a is not a perfect cube, right? So this is a basic idea of what is a surd and what are different types of surd, right? So let us try to understand some rules, or some, you can say, the rules for algebraic operations on surd, right? So like say we have rules on addition, multiplication and subtraction and division, right? So similarly we have rules for addition, multiplication and division of surds, right? So square root of a whole square, this is always a, right? And this is true when a is greater than 0. A is greater than or equal to 0, because for square root of a to be defined, this a should always be greater than or equal to 0, right? But square root of a square, right, this is not directly a, this is mod a. I have told you before also that square root of 4, this is only 2, and even if I write square root of say 4 as say minus 2 whole square, then this is not minus 2, this is just minus 2 mod, that is again 2, right? So square root of a square is mod a, and square root of a whole square, square root of a whole square, then it is a, right? This is, and this is defined only if a is greater than or equal to 0, right? So next is that square root of ab, this is square root of mod a into square root of mod b. And when is this defined? This is defined it if ab is greater than or equal to 0, right? So inside the square root, the thing should always be positive or equal to 0, so it should be non-negative thing inside a square root. Similarly, if I have square root of a by b, then this I can write it as square root of mod a by square root of by mod b, right? I mean, you can also write this as square root of, you can write this as square root of mod a by mod b, and also you can write it as square root of mod a by square root of mod b, right? And again the condition is that ab should be greater than or equal to 0, because for a by b to be positive, both a and b should be positive, or both a and b should be negative, then only the inside thing is positive, right? So if both a and b are positive or both a and b are negative, the ab is always positive. Next is that square root of a whole power n, you can write it as square root of a power n, and this is valid if a is greater than or equal to 0 only, right? So square root of a whole power n is square root of a power n if a is greater than or equal to 0, right? And I mean, you can have this distributive property that a root c plus b root c, you can write it as a plus b times root c, right? So these are some basic operations of surd. I mean, they might be pretty intuitive to you, you can easily understand these operations. So the condition that inside the square root always should be the quantity which is inside the square root should always be non-negative, so that's why we have written ab greater than or equal to 0, and here also ab greater than or equal to 0, and this fifth property is valid for only positive a, right? A greater than or equal to 0. And square root of a square, this we have discussed many times, it is mod a and it is not simply a, right? So square root of minus 2 whole square, you can't cancel this square root and you can write this minus 2. No, this is wrong. You write it as mod minus 2 and then mod minus 2 is 2. So let us try to do some example. Say if I ask you to simplify, say square root of 5 plus 2 root 6, right? You need to simplify square root of 5 plus 2 root 6, right? So here already there is a surd because root 6 is not a perfect square, and you have a still square root you have, right? Over this 5 plus 2 root 6 you still have a square root. So how to simplify this? So see, the idea is that I'm trying to express this as a plus b whole square, right? So trying to express 5 plus 2 root 6 as a plus b whole square, right? So a plus b whole square is a square plus b square plus 2ab. So this is 5 plus 2 root 6, right? So this is 5 plus, so this part, that is 2 root 6, will act as my 2ab, right? So this I am writing it as 2 times root 6. Root 6 you can write it as root 2 into root 3, right? And this 5, you can see this is root 2 whole square plus root 3 whole square, isn't it? Plus 2 into root 2 into root 3. So then this is nothing but root 2 plus root 3 whole square, right? So then you can write it as square root of 5 plus 2 root 6. This is square root of root 2 plus root 3 whole square, and square root of root 2 plus root 3 whole square is mod of root 2 plus root 3, and this is anyways positive, so I write it as root 2 plus root 3, right? So I hope that this is clear. So the main idea is you need to express 5 plus 2 root 6 as a perfect square. Perfect square means a plus b whole square. So this 2 root 6 will act as my 2ab part, so I'll compare with this 2 into a into b. So root 6 you can write it as root 6 into root 1 also, but then root 6 whole square plus root 1 whole square, it is 37, it is not it is 7, it is not 5. But if you write it as root 2 into root 3, then this square root of 2 whole square plus square root of 3 whole square, it is 5. So then that will help, right? For example, if I ask you to simplify square root of say 7 plus 2 root 6, then this you can write 7 plus 2 root 6 as 7 plus 2 into, now if you write root 2 into root 3, then this is not working because square root of 2 whole square plus square root of 3 whole square, right? Root 2 whole square plus root 3 whole square, this is 2 plus 3, this is 5, but here you have 7, so this is not working anymore. So square root 6, let us write it as square root 6 into square root 1. And now you can see 7 I can write it as 6 plus 1, and 6 is nothing but square root 6 whole square plus square root 1 whole square plus 2 into square root 6 into square root 1. So this is square root 6 plus square root 1 whole square. So then you can write square root of 7 plus 2 root 6 as square root of root 6 plus root 1 whole square. So this is mod of root 6 plus root 1. So this is root 6 plus root 1, right? So and root 1 is simply 1, so this is 1 plus root 6. So this is how you can simplify this surds, right? So I mean the main idea was to express the thing which is inside the square root as a perfect square, right? Let us do one more example. Say if I ask you to simplify say square root of 7 minus 4 root 3, square root of 7 minus 4 root 3. Yes, so you can pause the video and you can try it on your own. Yes, so let us see this, how we will simplify square root 7 minus 4 root 3. So what I am doing is, now this can't be anymore expressed as a plus b whole square, so I am trying to express it as a minus b whole square, right? So 7 minus 4 root 3, so a minus b whole square is what? It is a square plus b square minus 2ab, right? So then this part will act as minus 2ab for me. So I am writing this as 7 minus, this should act as 2ab. So 2 into 2 root 3, fine, 2 into 2 root 3. Now you can see that this is 7 minus 2 into a into b, and you can see that 2 square plus root 3 whole square, which is 4 plus 3, which is 7, right? So this is perfectly working. So I can write it as 2 square plus root 3 whole square, that is 7. and minus 2 into root 3. So this is nothing but a minus b whole square. So this is 2 minus root 3 whole square, right? So this is my 7 minus 4 root 3. The square root of 7 minus 4 root 3, this is square root of 2 minus root 3 whole square. And now don't write it as directly 2 minus root 3, but write it as mod 2 minus root 3. And you see that 2 minus root 3 is a positive number, right? Root 3 is 1.7 something. So 2 minus root 3, you can directly write it as 2 minus root 3, right? So I think this is clear. Let us do one more example. Say simplify square root of say if I give you 5 minus 2 root 6. So again here I will try to express it as a minus b whole square. So a minus b whole square is a square plus b square minus 2ab. So this is 5 minus 2 root 6. So this is 5 minus 2 into root 2 into root 3, right? And this is root 3 whole square, or I can write this as root 2 whole square plus root 3 whole square minus 2 into root 2 into root 3, right? So this is a square plus b square minus 2ab. So I can write it as a minus b whole square, right? So now square root of 5 minus 2 root 6 is square root of root 2 minus root 3 whole square. So this is mod of root 2 minus root 3. And you see root 2 minus root 3 is negative, right? So you can't write it as root 2 minus root 3, but you can write it as root 3 minus root 2, because root 3 minus root 2 is positive number, right? Fine. So root 2 minus root 3 whole square, you can also write it as root 3 minus root 2 whole square, right? And root 3 minus root 2 is positive, so it will open as root 3 minus root 2, not root 2 minus root 3, right? So similarly it is similar that root 4 is, you can also write it as root 2 square and minus 2 whole square, but you don't open it as minus 2, you open it as mod minus 2 and you get 2. Here also you open it as mod 2 and you get 2, right? So you open it as mod root 2 minus root 3, and since this is negative root 2 minus root 3, so you make it positive by just multiplying with the minus sign, so you get root 3 minus root 2, right? So this is how you can simplify. So these are the basic simplifications which are using the formula of a plus b whole square and a minus b whole square, right? So let us try to understand what is rationalization. So to understand rationalization, let us first try to understand what is a conjugate. What is a conjugate surd, right? You can tell it as a conjugate pair or a conjugate surd, right? So for say a plus b root c, the conjugate surd is a minus b root c, right? So the conjugate of a plus b root c is a minus b root c, and vice versa. And vice versa means the conjugate of a minus b root c is a plus b root c, and the conjugate of a plus b root c is a minus b root c, right? So why these are said to be conjugate? Because see, if you add a plus b root c and a minus b root c, if you add these two surds, you will get a rational number, right? You will get a rational number, that is 2a. Similarly, if you multiply these two things, a plus b root c and a minus b root c, then this is a plus b into a minus b, so a square minus b root c whole square. So this is a square minus b square into c. So this is also rational, right? So on addition and multiplication we get rational, that's why these are called conjugate surds, right? So a conjugate surd, let us write it as conjugate surds on addition and multiplication. Gives us rational numbers, right? So the conjugate surd of a plus b root c is a minus b root c, and similarly the conjugate of a minus b root c is a plus b root c. So now let us try to understand the process of rationalization, right? Say you have 1 by 2 plus root 3, right? So in the denominator you have an irrational number, right? Because root 3 is irrational. So 2 plus root 3 is also an irrational entirely. So if I ask you rationalize the denominator, rationalize the denominator. If I ask you to rationalize the denominator, so then how will you do this? You just multiply and divide this number by a conjugate. And what is its conjugate? 2 minus root 3. So multiply and divide with 2 minus root 3. This we can do, right? Because this is, I mean, we can multiply a, we can write it as ab by b, right? So that's what I have done. I have just multiplied and divided it. This I can do it. So numerator I have written 2 minus root 3, and in the denominator you see this is a plus b into a minus b. So I am writing this as 2 square minus root 3 whole square. So 2 minus root 3 by 4 minus 3. So this is 2 minus root 3 by 1, which is nothing but 2 minus root 3, right? So now you see that the denominator is rational, although now the numerator has become irrational number, but our task was to rationalize the denominator. Before there was irrational terms in the denominator, now the denominator is completely rational. So this is how you can rationalize the denominator, by just multiplying with the conjugate term. So let us look at one more example. Say if I give you 2 plus root 3 by, or instead let us take one more other example, say 5 plus root 3 by say 7 plus 2 root 3, right? And I ask you to rationalize the numerator. Rationalize the numerator, right? So here you see that in the numerator it is 5 plus root 3, which is an irrational number. So I want to rationalize it, so I multiply with a conjugate, right? What is the conjugate of 5 plus root 3? It is nothing but 5 minus root 3. So I just multiply and divide with 5 minus root 3 in both numerator and denominator. So now numerator is a square minus b square, and denominator now you can simplify this, right? 7 5s are 35 minus 7 root 3, right? And this is plus 10 root 3, and minus 2 root 3 into 3. 2 root 3 into 3 is 2 into 3, that is 6, right? 2 root 3 into 3 is 6. So 5 square is 25 minus this is 3, and this is 35. 10 root 3 minus 7 root 3, this is plus 3 root 3 and minus 6. So this is 22 by 35 minus 6 is 29 and plus 3 root 3, right? So our task is done, that is we have rationalized the numerator, right? So you can see that in the numerator we have a rational number. Yes, so in general, if I want to say rationalize 1 by a root b plus say c root d, if I want to rationalize this, then what you do is you just multiply with a root b minus c root d by a root b plus c root d into a root b minus c root d, right? So you just multiply with a root b minus c root d on numerator and denominator, right? And this is a square b minus c square d. So you have rationalized the denominator, right? So this is how you can rationalize the denominator. So in most of the problems it will be helpful to rationalize the denominator, right? So I think now the rationalization part is also clear. So similarly, I mean, if you have a root b minus c root d, then also you can rationalize it. You can just multiply with a root b plus c root d here, right? Just multiply and divide with a root b plus c root d, right? So the numerator is a root b plus c root d, and denominator a square minus b square, so it is a square b minus c square d. So again you have rationalized the denominator, right? So you have rationalized the denominator here and here. So this is how you can easily rationalize denominators, and most of the problems it will be helpful to rationalize the denominator, right? So let us try to do one more problem. Say if I give you to simplify square root of 9 plus 2 into 1 plus root 3 into 1 plus root 7, right? You need to simplify this. So you can try this on your own. You can pause the video and try this, and then you can come back to see the solution. See, what I'm doing is I'm just multiplying this inside, right? I'm just multiplying all the terms. So 9 plus this is 2 into, so this is 1 plus root 3 into 1 plus root 7. So 1 ones are 1 plus root 7 plus root 3 plus root 21, right? So this is 9 plus 2 plus 2 root 7 plus 2 root 3 plus 2 root 21, right? So this is square root of 11 plus 2 root 3 plus 2 root 7 plus 2 root 21, right? So now you see you have 2, 2 and 2 here. So now, I mean, you can't write it as a plus b whole square, right? This is a square plus b square plus 2ab, but then here you have 3 times you have 2 root something, 2 root something and 2 root something. So now try to think the formula of a plus b plus c whole square, right? Try to think the formula of a plus b plus c whole square. So a plus b plus c whole square, it is a square plus b square plus c square plus 2ab plus 2bc plus 2ca. Right now this 2ab, 2bc, 2ca you can compare with 2 root 3, 2 root 7 and 2 root 21, right? So this what I have is 11 plus 2 root 3 plus 2 root 7 plus 2 root 21. So this is 11 plus 2 into root 3, I am writing it as root 3 into root 1, and root 7 is root 7 into root 1, and then you have 2 root 3 into root 7, right? Root 3 into root 7 is root 21. So you can see that you have AB, BC, AB, and say you have BC and AC, right? So and 11 I can write it as root 3 whole square plus root 7 whole square plus root 1 whole square, right? Because you see that 3 plus 7 plus 1, it is 11 only. So this is entirely matching, and this is 2 into root 3 into root 1 plus 2 into root 7 into root 1 plus 2 into root 3 into root 7. So this is nothing but root 3 plus root 7 plus root 1 whole square, right? So now just taking the under root on both sides, right? If I just take the under root on both sides, then this is root 3 plus root 7 plus root 1 whole square. So this is mod of root 3 plus root 7 plus root 1, and this is positive, so you can write it as root 3 plus root 7 plus root 1, right? So I mean, there are different ways. Sometimes you need to think of a plus b whole square, sometimes a minus b whole square. Here you have seen that we have thought about a plus b plus c whole square. Sometimes you might need to think a minus a plus b minus c whole square, or say a minus b minus c whole square, right? Sometimes you might need to think a plus b whole cube also. So let us try to simplify a cubic expression, right? So simplify cube root of, say, let me just create a question. So cube root 2 plus cube root 1, so I'll write it as okay. So you need to simplify this. 3 plus 3 into cube root 4 plus 3 into cube root 2, right? So see, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use the formula of a plus b whole cube. So a plus b whole cube, it is a cube plus b cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square, right? So now if you see this, you have 3ab, 3a square b, 3ab square, right? These things are related with 3a square b and 3ab square, and this a cube plus b cube, this entirely should become 3 only. So you can see that if you compare 3 and cube root 4, you can write it as cube root 2 whole square, and you can write it as 1, right? Plus 3 into a, you can write it as cube root 1, into b you can write it as, okay, a is cube root 2, let us use a as cube root 2, and b is cube root 1 whole square, which is 1 only, right? So this thing is perfectly matching with 3 times cube root 2, because this is 1, and this is, let us write this as cube root of 1, right? So this is 3a square b, and this is 3a b square. So now let us check whether a cube plus b cube is 3 or not. So 3 you can write it as cube root 2 whole cube plus cube root 1 whole cube, right? This is nothing but 2 plus 1, which is 3, right? So everything is matching. You can write 3 plus 3 into cube root 4 plus 3 into cube root 2 as cube root 2 plus cube root 1 whole cube, isn't it? Because if you simplify this a cube plus b cube, you will get 3, and 3a square b, you will get 3 into cube root 4, and 3a b square, you will get 3 into cube root 2. So then simply I can say that cube root of 3 plus 3 into cube root 4 plus 3 into cube root 2, this is nothing but cube root 2 plus cube root 1, right? So I mean, sometimes you need to think a plus b whole cube, sometimes you might need to think a minus b whole cube, and so on, right? So let us try to do some more examples. Say you need to rationalize the denominator of root 2 plus root 3 minus root 5 by root 2 plus root 3 plus root 5. So you need to rationalize the denominator. See, we know that to rationalize root a plus root b, we can just multiply with root a minus root b, right? But here you have root a plus root b plus root c. So let us see how to do this, right? So I think we need to do the process of rationalization 2 times, and then we'll finally end up with a rational number in denominator. So let us see. So it is root 2 plus root 3 minus root 5 by root 2 plus root 3 plus root 5. So first what I am doing is I am considering this entire thing as a and this as b, right? So I am just multiplying, I am just multiplying with, say, root 2 plus root 3 minus root 5, right, and root 2 plus root 3 minus root 5, multiplying and dividing with root 2 plus root 3 minus root 5. So now you see, this is root 2 plus root 3 minus root 5 whole square. So this is root 2 plus root 3 minus root 5 whole square, and this is a plus b into a minus b, right? So this is a square minus b square. So this is root 2 plus root 3 whole square minus root 5 whole square. So numerator, you can use the formula of a plus b minus c whole square. So that will be a square plus b square plus c square plus 2 into root 2 into root 3 and minus 2 into root 3 into root 5 minus 2 into root 2 into root 5, right? So this is a plus b minus c whole square, right? A square plus b square plus c square, you will get 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 2 into root 2 into root 3 and 2 into root 3 into minus root 5, so you get minus 2 root 3 5, and 2 into root 2 into minus root 5, you get minus 2 into root 2 into root 5, right? And this divided by, this is a plus b whole square, so this is 2 plus 3 plus 2 root 6 and minus root 5 whole square is 5, so this 5 gets cancelled, right? So let us simplify. 5 plus 3 8, 8 plus 2 10 plus 2 root 6 minus 2 root 15 minus 2 root 10 divided by, you have 2 root 6, right? So 2 you can cancel it, right? 2 2 2 2 2 5s, right? So root 6, how will you rationalize root 6? Just multiply and divide with root 6, you will rationalize root 6. So denominator root 6 into root 6 will be 6, and now this will be 5 root 6 plus root 6 into root 6, it is 6 minus 2 root minus root 15 into root 6. So this is root 3 root 5 root 6 minus root 2 root 5 root 6, right? So you have 6 plus 5 root 6 minus, this is root, you can leave it as it is, or you can write it as 15 6 are 90 minus root 60 whole divided by 6. So you can see that finally you have rationalized the denominator, right? So let us do one more problem. So it is given that x is equals to root 7 plus root 3 by root 7 minus root 3, and y is equals to root 7 minus root 3 by root 7 plus root 3, right? So find, question is that find x power 4 plus y power 4 plus x plus y whole power 4. So this is the question. right? So you can pause the video and you can try this if you want, right? And otherwise you can solve it with me. So you see that first thing I am doing is I am rationalizing the denominators in both x and y, right? So x is root 7 plus root 3 by root 7 minus root 3. So I just multiply with root 7 plus root 3 and root 7 plus root 3, right? Multiplying and dividing with root 7 plus root 3. The aim is to rationalize the denominator. So this is root 7 plus root 3 whole square divided by 7 minus 3. So this is 7 plus 3, 10 plus 2 root 21 divided by 4. So if you divide with 2, you will get 5 plus root 21 by 2, right? And similarly, y is root 7 minus root 3 by root 7 plus root 3. Here also I want to rationalize the denominator. So I just multiply with root 7 minus root 3 into root 7 minus root 3. So this will become root 7 minus root 3 whole square by 7 minus 3, right? So then this is 10 minus 2 root 21 by 4. So this is 1 by 2 into 5 minus root 21. So this is y and this is my x, right? 5 plus root 21 by 2. X is 5 plus root 21 by 2 and y is 5 minus root 21 by 2, right? So you can see that these two are conjugate pairs, right? 5 plus root 21, 5 minus root 21. These two are conjugate numbers. So this is very important here. So try to observe carefully that this is very important that these two are conjugate. So we know that if we have two conjugate surds, on adding and multiplication we get a rational number. So then x plus y will be what? 5 plus root 21 plus 5 minus root 21 by 2. So that will be 5. And what is xy? It is 1 by 4 into 5 plus root 21 into 5 minus root 21, right? Because 2 into 2 is 4 in the denominator. So if you see this, then xy is 5 square 25 minus 21 by 4. So that is 4 by 4, that is 1. Now the important thing is you have got x plus y as 5 and xy as 1, right? And the question is you need to find x power 4 plus y power 4 plus x plus y whole power 4. This is the question. So you see that x plus y, this is very easily done, but x power 4 plus y power 4. So you don't just do power 4 for x and power 4 for y, right? You need not compute x power 4 and y power 4, right? First by squaring this and again squaring this. You need not do like that. So what I am trying to do here is, so try to express x power 4. Try to express, just a second, there is some technical issue. So we are trying to express x power 4 plus y power 4 as a using x plus y and xy, right? So try to express x power 4 plus y power 4 using x plus y and xy, and then you will be easily able to find x power 4 plus y power 4, right? So x power 4 plus y power 4, try to express x power 4 plus y power 4 using x plus y and xy, using x plus y and xy, right? So how we can do that? See, x power 4 plus y power 4, you can write it as x square whole square plus y square whole square. A square plus b square, I can write it as a plus b whole square minus 2ab, isn't it? A square plus b square is a plus b whole square minus 2 into a into b. So we already know xy, this thing is simplified. And then again x square plus y square, you can write it as x plus y whole square minus 2xy and whole square minus 2x square y square, right? So this is how you can express x power 4 plus y power 4 as x plus y and xy, right? So now you just need to use x plus y and xy. So x plus y is 5 and xy is 1. So this is 5 square minus 2 into 1 whole square minus 2 into xy is 1 whole square. 25 minus 2 is 23 square minus 2. So 23 square is 529, right? 529 minus 2 is 527, right? And x plus y whole power 4. So finally we have x power 4 plus y power 4 plus x plus y whole power 4. So this is 527 plus 5 power 4. So 527 plus 625. So you get 1152, right? So you see, you have learning lot of ideas in this problem, right? First thing is that the important thing in simplification of surds is that you rationalize the denominators. If you rationalize the denominators, then you were able to see that you got these x and y as conjugate pairs. So then we know that if these are conjugate pairs, then their addition and product both will be rational, right? You can see that. Next, you wanted to find x power 4 plus y power 4. So instead of directly computing x power 4 and y power 4, you just use some algebra to express x power 4 plus y power 4 as in terms of x plus y and xy, right? And then you were easily able to do this. Fine. So let's copy this solution and then let us move to the next problem. Yes, so let us try to solve the next problem. So the question is that it is given c is greater than 1 and x is square root of c plus 2 minus square root of c plus 1 by root c minus root c minus 1, and y is given as square root of c plus 2 minus square root of c plus 1 by square root of c plus 1 minus square root c, and z is given as root c minus 1 by root c plus 2 and minus root c plus 1. C is greater than 1. So the task is to arrange x, y, z in ascending order. Arrange x, y, z in ascending order, right? So you can pause the video and you can try this. So the hint is that you need to rationalize the denominators. That is the thing. You need to rationalize the denominators. So let us try to solve this. See, first let us consider x. So x is root c plus 2 minus square root of c plus 1 by root c minus root c minus 1. So how will you rationalize the denominator? You just multiply with the conjugate, right? So you just multiply and divide with root c plus root c minus 1 and by root c plus root c minus 1, right? So if you multiply this, this is root c plus, this is root c plus 2 into root c. Okay, this is root c plus 2 into, let us just leave this as it is, numerator thing, into root c plus root c minus 1 and divided by, this is root c whole square minus root over c minus 1 whole square, right? So this is root c plus 2 minus root c plus 1. Now you see, what I am doing is I am also rationalizing the numerator simultaneously. So this part is as it is, root c plus root c minus 1, and this part will become c minus c minus 1, right? A square minus b square, right? So I am writing this as root c plus 2 plus root c plus 1 into root c plus 2 plus root c plus 1. Okay, so I have rationalized the numerator also. Fine. So I have just multiplied it with root c plus 2 plus root c plus 1. So let me just write it clearly. This is root c plus 2 plus root c plus 1. So I have multiplied and divided with this, and remaining things I have wrote down as it is, right? So this is root c plus 2 minus whole square minus root c plus 1 whole square. So multiplying this thing with this, okay, and this is root c plus root c minus 1 divided by, this is 1, right? So and this is root c plus 2 plus root c plus 1, this thing as it is, right? So and this is also 1. So finally you have root c plus root c minus 1 by root c plus 2 plus root c plus 1. So basically what I have done is I have just rationalized both numerator and denominator. So I have done it in separate steps here, because first I have rationalized the denominator, right, and then I have rationalized the numerator separately, right, by multiplying and dividing with root c plus 2 plus root c plus 1. So I can do it directly in first step also. So I will do it for y. So it is given as y is root over c plus 2 minus root over c plus 1, right, and divided by root over c plus 1 minus root c. So you see what I am doing is I am just multiplying with root c plus 2 plus root c plus 1 and dividing with root c plus 2 plus root c plus 1, and also I am rationalizing denominator. So I am multiplying with root c plus 1 plus root c and dividing with root c plus 1 plus root c. Fine. So this product of these two things is 1, right? You can see that this is c plus 2 minus c plus 1, that will be 1. So you will be left with root over c plus 1 plus root c, and product of these two things, this is 1, a square minus b square, you will get 1, and this is root c plus 2 plus root c plus 1, right? So this is y, and similarly you do it for z. You can rationalize z. You will get it as root over c plus 2 plus root over c plus 1 by root over c plus root over c minus 1, right? So now you see, if you see this x, y and z, so this is my x, right, this is my y, and this is my z. So in x and y you can see that the denominators are same. In x and y denominators are same. So numerator of y is greater than numerator of x, right? The denominators are same for both x and y, but numerator of y is greater than numerator of x, right? Because c plus 1 plus c will be greater than root c plus root c minus 1. This is very clear. So definitely I can say that y is greater than x, right? Denominator of y is equals to denominator of x, but numerator of y is greater than numerator of x. So by these two logics I can say that y is greater than x. Next is, let us compare y and z. So you can see that the denominator of z is less than the denominator of y, and numerator of z is also more than the numerator of y. So denominator of z is less than denominator of y, and numerator of z is greater than numerator of y. So clearly z is greater than y, right? Because if denominator is less, then only number is more, right? You can see that is also in favor of z, that denominator of z is less, and if numerator is more, then is also the entire number is more. So that is also in favor of z only, that is numerator of z is more than numerator of y. So finally z is greater than y and y is greater than x. So the ascending order is x is less than y is less than z. So x is less than y is less than z. This is the ascending order, right? So this is the thing, you have to rationalize numerator and denominators in all x and y and z, and then you need to compare. So you can ask me that why didn't I compare here itself? I can also compare here, right? But you see, it is very difficult to compare here. Here you can see that you can compare x and y, because for x and y you have the same numerator, and in the denominator you cannot say now that whether x is more, the denominator of x is more or denominator of y is more. You can't say, right? Because if there was plus, then I can definitely say that this denominator is bigger than this one, but if there is minus, and then how can I say which one is bigger, right? So here it was difficult to compare, so that's why we just rationalized it. Fine. And after rationalization it was very easy to compare, because the denominator was same for x and y, right? And numerator I can clearly say, because there is plus in between, so definitely this thing is bigger than root c plus 1 is bigger than root c is bigger than root c minus 1. So if I add these two, this will be bigger than this, right? So I hope that this is very clear. So let us do one more problem. So simplify m is equals to square root of 2 plus square root of minus 2 plus 2 root 5, right? and minus square root of 2 minus square root of minus 2 plus 2 root 5. You need to simplify this, right? So you can pause the video and then you can try this, otherwise you can solve it with me. So let us call this as A and this as B. So we want M is equals to A minus B, right? So you see that here in A and in B, so, I mean I am assuming this entire thing with root as A, with root I am assuming it as equal to A. Just a second. Yeah, so I am assuming this entire thing as A and this entire thing as B, right? So this entire thing including bigger square root is A and this is B. So here you can see that this is 2 plus this thing and this is 2 minus this thing, same thing, right? So let us just square A square, square A and B. A square is 2 plus square root of minus 2 plus 2 root 5 and B square is 2 minus square root of minus 2 plus 2 root 5, right? So you can see that if I add these two, then this will get cancelled. So A square plus B square is clearly 4, right? A square plus B square is 4. So on adding these two I get A square plus B square is 4. And now you can see that these are conjugate pairs, right? This is 2 plus root something, 2 minus root something. So these are conjugate pairs. So on adding we got rational, on multiplying also we'll get rational only. So A square into B square is A plus B into A minus B. So that is 4 minus 2 plus 2 root 5, right? So this you will get it as 6 minus 2 root 5. So this is A square into B square, right? So A square plus B square is 4, A square into B square is 6 minus 2 root 5. So now 6 minus 2 root 5, I think I can further express it as perfect square, because AB is what? It is square root of 6 minus 2 root 5, right? So this I can write it as square root of, this is 2 into root 5 into root 1 and this is root 5 whole square plus root 1 whole square, right? So this is square root of root 5 minus root 1 whole square, and this is anyways positive, so I can just write it as root 5 minus root 1, that is 1. So you see AB I wrote it as root 5 minus 1 and A square plus B square I got it as 4. So and we want to find what? A minus B. So I have A square plus B square is equals to 4 and AB is equals to root 5 minus 1, and now I want A minus B, right? So let us use the formula that A minus B whole square is A square plus B square minus 2AB, isn't it? So this is 4 minus 2 into root 5 minus 1. So this is 4 minus 2 root 5 plus 2, right? So this is again 6 minus 2 root 5. A minus B whole square is again 6 minus 2 root 5. So then A minus B whole square, it is square root of 6 minus 2 root 5, right? I mean you can write plus minus, but we'll see why it is only plus. So this again you will get root 5 minus 1. Fine. So I mean you can write it as plus minus here. Actually you should write it as plus minus, because if x square is 4 then x is plus minus 2, right? But root 4 is only 2, this is not minus 2. We have dealt this so many times. So why I am avoiding plus? Because if you see this, you can see clearly that A is bigger number and B is smaller number, right? Because see 2 plus something and this is 2 minus something, right? And this something is also positive number, because it is inside square root, it will always give an positive output. So this is positive, this is positive. So 2 plus some positive thing, 2 minus some positive thing. So this thing is clearly bigger than B. So bigger number minus smaller number will always get positive only. So that's why I am just avoiding plus minus, I am just taking it as plus. And finally you have A minus B as root 5 minus 1. So our M is nothing but root 5 minus 1, right? So I mean this is how you can simplify this surds using formulas of A plus B whole square, A minus B whole square, sometimes A plus B plus C whole square, A plus B whole cube, and so on. And the rationalization of numerators and denominators, we have seen that. Yes, so this is it for surds, I'll send you the assignment in the group, right?